Hi, everybody. Welcome to FNS Wrestling Podcast, episode 143. We are back down in the basement. One of us is not feeling great. Correct?
Yeah.
Throat's bothering you?
Yeah.
So coming down here and talking about wrestling for 2 hours is
exactly what I needed.
Exactly what you needed. We're going to pause and I'll make you a smoothie at some point, we decided. So maybe it's the hot weather that's making you sick.
Is that it?
I'm just trying to. That's my awkward segue into the weather in southern Ontario has been amazing for 3 days. We skipped spring, right, and we're straight to summer for some reason. Although apparently it's dropping back down.
Short-lived.
Like it almost got to 30 today, 30 degrees Celsius, which is I don't know Fahrenheit to our American listeners. Was that what's the rule?
Oh, is that the American thing?
What's the rule? Something like times 2 plus 30.
I have no idea.
So probably around 90. A bit less, maybe.
I don't even know the difference.
I think that's some sort of.
What is Fahrenheit like the American one?
Yes.
It's like miles, kilometers, or whatever.
Correct, basically. Yeah, so it's been super hot here. Where you attend school and where I work, they're not turning the air conditioning on yet, so it's been rather warm. Do you have classes upstairs? Super hot, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Last 2 days, yeah, have been 2 or 3 days have been really hot. So
and
I don't know.
Gym.
And for me, I know you were upset about it too. The Raptors are out of the play-in, lost the play-in game. Season is over. Played terrible in the second half. We're up like 19 in the first half and then decided to miss all their free throws and turn the ball over a million times. So I was angry. Was not happy.
Sounds fun.
It wasn't fun. But so their season's done. The Blue Jays are looking pretty decent, so that's nice. Sports? Got any input on sports?
That baseball game was too long.
Oh, we watched with Grandma and Grandpa?
I didn't like it.
I know you didn't, but that's okay.
Hancock kept posting on a story, great game, and I was like, no.
So he actually watches baseball?
Plays baseball.
I know he plays it, but your brother plays basketball. He doesn't watch a ton. Well, YouTube clips and stuff he does. He doesn't sit and watch games with me too often.
Weird.
But anyways, yeah, so he's got to practice in a game, and then provincials next weekend for him. So we'll be off in the Niagara area, which means you get to go where probably?
Wait, what?
We're at provincials next weekend for your brother's basketball.
Okay, so which store are we referring to in this case?
Which one is when we go to Niagara Falls?
Oh, the weird one?
I don't know. What's the weird one?
The one with a bunch of figures in the back?
You don't know the name of it? No, not that one.
Bounty Hunter?
Yeah, Bounty Hunter.
That's in Hamilton.
Yeah, on the way to Niagara Falls.
Oh, right, no, okay, no, right, I got it, yeah, okay, yeah.
So,
yes.
I don't know, a figure store you love, and
that
who else loves it? Page? Is it Ethan Page? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Has been there, and I think Myers and Cardona, have been there
tracks.
as well, because they are figure people. But anyways, So yeah, that's our plan next weekend. We'll be probably doing episode 144 from a hotel room again, like we did last year.
I forgot that we even did that.
We did, so that's kind of interesting. Have to see what gear I want to pack. Using a new microphone tonight, my newest pawn shop purchase. Did you see the price? The original price was on the box. I didn't notice.
Well,
so the original price for this at Long and McQuaid was $279. You know what I paid for it at the pawn shop?
$79.
Correct. And it's mint condition, like not a mark on it. So I don't know how it sounds. So people, if you notice a difference, let me know. I'm trying to make it sound good. It's a nice mic, but you know me, I have my friend Bark who has podcasts and whatnot. He calls it gear attainment syndrome, where we just want more audio gear. I want more mics and interfaces, and like you with figures and stuff. It's what I collect.
Or
right?
perhaps belts.
Yeah, it's just,
I want a belt.
It's what I collect. So we all have our collectors.
Oh yeah, people, I'm gonna get a belt.
You're obsessed with getting a belt, eh?
Well, I've had side plates sitting there for.
Doesn't mean you have to have a belt.
Side
plates
exactly
are cool on their
what
own.
that means.
Side plates are cool on their own.
Plus, I want a belt, and
you
so I'm thinking I'll get one for the side plates first, and then if I like it, I'll someday get the NXT one that I like.
Nice.
And then I'll get Adam Cole side plates.
Well, I hope you get lots of hours and save lots of money, because they're all very expensive.
I've already got a plan in place.
Oh, that's great.
Very smart.
I guess so. But anyways, I'm done bantering. I figure we get this thing fired up.
My chocolate milk's already gone.
Talk about some wrestling, because your throat hurts, and
that is factual.
We're doing another late night Friday night. Not as late as we've done before, but
not too bad.
Pretty late. But anyways, we'll start. So the first thing we're gonna do, again, there's timestamps if you want to go directly to any particular segment. Timestamps in the description. But the first thing we always do is taking a look at some of the week's news and rumors. I don't know about you, but I would call it a slow news week. Yes? Agree?
I only found like a couple things.
I have 3, and
I have 2.
we didn't compare, so we might be stealing each other. So let's see who steals from who first. I know the ratings you won't steal from me, so I'll start with that. NXT averaged 528,000 viewers, down 4.9% compared to last week. Earned a 0.13 in the key demographic, which was the exact same as last week. So numbers down, but they went head-to-head with, as always, it seems, NBA, but this was a play-in tournament game, so probably a little more popular than a regular game, so I guess that would explain that. Dynamite averaged 866,000 viewers, down a paltry 1.3%, so almost the same, and earned a 0.28 in the key demographic. That I think was slightly down, but I didn't put the percent in, so pick a percent. I have down percent, but no number, so I leave that to your
22.
22. Oof, rough week. May not be true, but who knows. They were also up against an NBA play-in game, so same competition, basically. All right, let's see the minimal news we have. What do you have? See if you steal any of mine.
The only one, the main one I had was that the Saudi pay-per-view got changed from King and Queen of the Ring to Night of Champions.
Right, not stealing
which
from
I
me.
think is because Roman Reigns.
Because that's, you said, is 1,000 days? That will be the 1,000? So they want...
That's
so what
the 1,000.
So what are you suggesting? They want him to defend it there?
Or some coronation thing or whatever.
Some big deal that's happening there.
Yeah.
What would you prefer to watch? Not that we even really watch the Saudi stuff generally, but...
I think King of the Ring
Me
is more
too.
interesting.
You're a tournament
and
guy.
that would be actually something that would get me to watch, of all things. And then Night of Champions is just like... It's just the every belt thing.
Which almost happens anyways a lot of times.
A, happens pretty much every time.
Right.
B, doesn't work because the tag champs will not be there.
True.
Owens and Zayn don't do that.
Because, well, yeah, they don't. Sammy can't go and Owens won't go, I think, is basically what it comes down to. Good point.
And I saw that and I was like, oh, yeah, so that's kind of dumb.
You're like me. You like a good tournament.
Yeah,
you're a sucker for a tournament, right?
The only weird thing is in the Queen of the Ring tournament, the finals will be in fully clothed, but that's...
Yeah, interesting.
That's that.
News I have that you're not going to enjoy is apparently a Fightful is saying, maybe other people too, I don't know, CM Punk's AEW return, already you're annoyed, targeted for June, and he wants to work with the Elite. So the reporting...
That makes me suspicious that he directly wants to work with them. That just seems like...
I think that's just him overcompensating for clearly having massive issues
really
with them.
Weird. Yeah.
Yeah, and that he'll be back in time for the recently announced June 21st Dynamite that is in
Chicago.
Which, as soon as we saw that, right, we're like, oh no.
Yeah, it's not looking good, and that's right before Forbidden Door. I swear to God, I'm gonna make a CM Punk hate sign if he's on the show. I'll do it.
So they say either returning on that show or leading up to it. He's said to want to work with the Elite upon his return and has pushed for a meeting with them for quite a while, they're reporting. And a planned meeting with Punk, Chris Jericho, because he called Jericho a liar, right? I believe, directly. So they may have to work some things out. Yeah, so that is what I have about CM Punk. So,
well, considering the Elite are in an actually entertaining feud, I would rather him not work with the Elite. And I like Blackpool better.
I know, but I get it. Like, Punk's a draw. Punk moves the needle. Can't deny that. So
that's the
I'll be disappointed. I won't be surprised.
No,
at all.
We already had a disappointing return, so.
Yeah, that is true, and we'll get to that.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I was disappointed in that. Has there been? I guess we'll talk about it when we get there. I was just wondering if you've heard if there's like backlash about it or if people are thrilled or whatever. But
I don't. I would say I've seen some people are thrilled, so that disappoints me, but doesn't surprise me.
No, me either.
The only thing that could make this all worse is if we also get Goldberg.
Right. Yeah. No, they can't be doing stuff like that.
No.
What else?
The only other thing I had is that Brian Cage resigned.
He did, yes.
And so that's
I might have
cool.
said that last week.
I don't even know.
I can't remember. Feel like I knew that. Not sure if I said it on here.
I don't even know.
But I have your boy Seth Rollins, allegedly, so put it in the rumor category, I guess, walked out of the post-WrestleMania 39 episode of Raw in frustration. According to former WWE writer and heartthrob actor Freddie Prinze Jr., correct?
He voiced
something.
Kanan in Rebels.
Oh, did he? Did I know that?
I believe so. I didn't, and Hancock told me. I was like, I think that's who it was. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that's cool.
So basically,
He
that
also
episode.
played Fred. So
That's right.
That's funny.
That's right. In case you forgot, that's the episode that several changes were made by Vince, right, going into it. And so basically, there's a quote in here from, I forget, from Prince probably. They played a commercial during his intro, and then we could kind of hear him having a freak out on some production people. He was going, "Why is there a commercial?" You couldn't really hear what he was saying. You could just tell he was mad. So off he goes to AEW. No, just kidding. Because I saw another article related saying like he'd almost impossible he would leave WWE because his family, like his wife and kid, that right. So that makes sense to me, right? I wouldn't leave either. So, but
well, and he's probably not going to get affected too much by any power change. I mean, obviously he's not like going to the stratosphere anytime soon, but
he's also
he's not going to take too many hits.
No,
I think
exactly.
Vince or Triple H, they know his value, so
he's like the A-B+ guy. Unfortunately, like I think he could be more.
He's probably the most reliable guy they have.
I agree.
So
and
he's not going anywhere.
Good match with everybody. Like he's sometimes they give him weird character stuff to do, but he usually tries really hard. Last thing I had is that during Wednesday's Rampage taping, Cash Wheeler announced to the crowd that they had signed do you know how many years their deal is? 4-year deal with, and then when that finishes up, they plan to retire. So I don't know, go out on top or while you're still healthy and relevant, I guess, because enough wrestlers don't do that, right? So I wouldn't like to see them go after 4 years because they're awesome, but
it's interesting.
At the other side is staying way too long, which too many wrestlers do. The vast majority seem to do, but anyways.
CM Punk.
Yeah. And other people we're about to talk about because we're going to move into, right? Segue. I'm the segue master tonight. But anyways, we'll talk about this week's episode of AEW Dynamite. All right, so we're going to switch it up a bit to save your throat. I'm going to take over the heavy lifting on Dynamite this week, right? So, this episode, I think it was in Milwaukee, right? If I remember correctly.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's right.
I think
that
so.
Sounds familiar.
Feels right. Which I thought was a livelier crowd than was it last week? I thought they weren't super.
Last week was pretty weak, yeah.
Yeah, so I thought
that was Long Island.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they were great for MJF and then kind of not so great for everything else. Correct. So this goes right into an opening match, right? We get Swerve Strickland, Darby Allin, two guys we both really like quite a bit. So apparently, I didn't know this, but on Friday, Swerve revealed, and you told me, a merger between Mogul Affiliates and the Embassy, right?
Mogul Embassy, which I think is really weird, but I'm much more keen on this than his other two guys.
But is he not bringing those two guys with him?
They weren't here.
I know.
So I'm hoping not. I'm going to assume not until...
Right.
It's like...
You hear otherwise? Assume
like
the best?
Innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah, you're going to assume the best.
Yeah.
Optimism.
Yeah.
Let's try that. And then I guess Brian Cage attacked Darby Allin on the entrance ramp following Rampage. So this is like the details I wish they would tell us on the show because I don't watch Rampage and sometimes things feel pretty random, like this merger, basically, right? So, but anyway, so we do start off with this match. Excalibur says early on that Swerve holds a Ford 3 lifetime record against Darby Allin. So Allin starts...
I think he said they faced off in AEW before, too, which I don't remember.
I don't either. But I guess because of the attack on Rampage or whatever, Allin is fired up right away, and we get right from the opening bell, right? So he's in control out on the floor, basically, and we're shown Guevara and Ty Mello are watching the match from backstage. I guess the idea is the pillars are watching each other wrestle. Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of all been in matches recently, right? So I kind of like it.
Me too. That's interesting. So Strickland with a kick to the face, and then he hits a double stomp to the floor, heading into a commercial break, and this is where he tweaks his ankle, right? So he starts selling the ankle, whether it's legitimate or not. I don't know. So he actually ends up taking his boot off after the break, right? And then in a pretty gross spot, Darby is biting on Swerve's foot, which I
don't remember that.
Thought was interesting. Oh yeah, I was like, oh, that's gross. Sometimes I think you're typing and you miss stuff. But
that would sound right.
We also see Jungle Boy Jack Perry is watching backstage. Same idea, another one of the pillars checking out the match. We got a crazy Poison Rana from the ring apron. That was nuts.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
It's funny because today I was remembering that move, but I couldn't remember what match it was in. I thought it was maybe the 4-way on NXT, but it wasn't.
It could have been
this.
Murphy too,
and it looked cool. So Strickland head first on the floor. After that, we get a coffin drop, but Prince Nana shows up, right, and pulls Swerve's foot onto the ropes right in the sight line. It looked like I think it was Aubrey, right?
It was Aubrey.
So not great. The referee looks kind of silly there. But anyways, that happens a lot. And do you have the finish there? That's the only thing I'm missing.
Yes. It was like, so there was that bit, and then
I know
then Darby ran back in the ring. He took a house call and the Swerve stomp, and then kicked out.
Right.
Because Swerve was slow to the pin because of the ankle.
Right.
And then Darby got a near fall off of Code Red, and then there was the Last Supper roll up.
I knew it was Last Supper. I couldn't remember what was before that. What did you think of the match? You can go first.
Are you doing the MJ promo now or after?
I will do it after if I have notes on that. I'll do it after, yeah.
I thought it was a great opener choice. It was a really nice TV match to start us off. I was happy to see Swerve back on TV and running with a better crew.
Yeah.
The merge with the MC is kind of odd to me, but I like it way better than the two big guys yet. Hopefully they're gone, because maybe they're not just not that good.
Could be.
Because that's why Parker got axed from NXT, and
correct.
I've seen nothing from.
They were just like he wasn't developing or something, right?
MC may not be like high level, but from a talent perspective, I like it better, even if it's just Cage and Swerve most of the time.
Yep.
Because Gates of Agony, I don't see a whole lot.
They're on ROH all the time.
Yeah.
They've been having matches, at least when I was watching every week, regularly.
But you'd be lying if you said that wasn't cool. Cage and Swerve, that is.
Yeah.
Back to the match, though. There's a lot of stiff shots in this, in particular Swerve with a lot of the kicks he hit.
They looked awesome and sounded awesome.
And also Excalibur mentioned the No Stranger to One Another, so obviously I thought the chemistry was pretty great.
Me too.
They worked pretty aggressive here, but I think it was good. It resulted in a good match. I kind of thought Swerve would win, so I was a little disappointed, but it makes sense. Darby's in the whole main title storyline.
I figured Darby would win because of that exact reason, right? So yeah, I thought like they were really aggressive right away, both of them. And then a couple of my notes are whipping a man, not a DQ, I guess, right? Because he eventually struggles a bit and rips Darby's belt off and whips him with it. Darby was also bleeding at one point, which I didn't mention. And then another thing I liked was Swerve used the chain Darby wears around his neck, right, in his mouth. So it was kind of like Swerve was using Allen's own choice of ring gear against him, which I thought was pretty cool. So yeah, I thought it was a really strong opening match. The Poison Rana from the apron was crazy. I just enjoy watching both of these guys, and they worked more aggressive than maybe sometimes they do. Really, like you said, stiff kicks. This felt more like a grudge match than a lot of matches that get billed as a grudge match. Like I felt these guys were ramping it up, and I guess the backstory from that they didn't really tell us from Rampage and whatever helps to understand that, right? Because there wasn't a lot of build to it. That would have been the only thing I would have liked better. But I really enjoyed the match, and I knew Darby was winning just because of their positions on the card right now.
I was kind of hoping Swerve would get the win just to give him some momentum. And Darby's Darby, so when does he need to win?
Right, exactly. He doesn't need wins too much. So then you get, I guess you think we're getting like a 4-way at Double or Nothing. Or what are we getting?
The pillars?
Yeah, for sure, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
MJF comes out to say some stuff, right? He taunts Allen by reminding him he's already beaten him before with a move as simple as a headlock takedown, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, so, I don't know, do you have a lot of notes on this? I just have like...
Do
you want to do it, or you want me to do it?
I'll
because I have some top moments, but there's actually a lot of quotes here.
So MJF came down. He gave Darby credit for the incredible match he just had and said it was especially impressive because his daddy Sting wasn't there.
Right.
And of course the match was great because Darby is great and he'll admit they had one of the greatest matches ever. But then he mentions the headlock thing. And Darby may be one of the pound for pound he's ever faced, but then he had 2 words: headlock takeover.
Right.
Whatever. He beat Darby with such a simple move, and yet Darby thinks he can take the belt from him. Darby's about as bright as everyone in the arena, and he's not on the level of the devil. I could see that being a t-shirt.
Yeah, I like that one, yeah.
Darby asks if he's happy, and anything he's done has made him happy. When he met MJF 6 years ago, and he said making it to national TV would make his problems wash away. But here he is on TV as world champion. Nothing has changed. And Darby said he chased those material things too, but he didn't want to pretend to be happy, and he wanted to give his family a better life, and Sting's his best friend or something stupid like that. He says he won't lower his morals to be somebody like MJF, and MJF can keep talking. MJF calls him an arrogant little boy, and Darby thinks he's special. Thinks he doesn't have to go through what a bunch of people have been gone through for decades in the sport. And he's sick of the Pillars whining about his morals. And the fact that morals kill careers in the sport, and Darby calls himself a daredevil, and he thinks Darby's a gutless coward. He says he's aware he may die alone, he may not go to heaven.
That was deep.
But all that matters is if the AEW title comes with him, and he'll do whatever it takes to, unlike Darby, to leave a legacy on the sport, and it'll read graceful time, and Darby's will say Darby on Sting's. You can figure that out. Sting speaks. He says stuff about
You can say bitch.
pom-poms.
You can say bitch on
Okay,
here,
so he's Sting's bitch.
Nice.
Sting talks. He said something about pom-poms. He mentioned Cody for some reason. He made a reference to Joker Sting. He said Darby will be champion. I don't really care when Sting talks. Darby says this is a fake world, or the fake world hasn't taken him alive, and he leaves the same person he came in as, and he leaves as the man to end this reign of terror and become champion. And then Darby MJ spits in his face and walks away.
Yeah. Oh, spits right in his face from like half a foot away or whatever. But yeah. So I think if I do matches and you do segments, maybe does that sound fair? We'll share the work.
I'll try.
You'll try to do segments.
Yeah.
Or everything. Okay. I can do matches, no problem. But anyways, thoughts on this? They did a great job. I thought Darby sounded. We both like in the moment were like, wow, Darby sounded really good there, right? He's sounding more and more comfortable on the mic, and I like we already said, like I like this Pillar storyline, and I think it's one when sometimes when AEW wants to slow burn
bringing
stuff,
the best out of Darby. I think
they do a good slow burn sometimes, right? So I'm okay if this is one. It's elevating people. It's giving Darby a chance to talk. All of them. Sammy sounded pretty good too in a couple of his
not heel,
promos.
but it's been good.
Right, like for sure a little bit out of character, but yeah, I'm enjoying it. Yeah. So this was maybe a bit long, but it didn't really bother me. I liked it. You?
I literally just would have taken Sting out, and that's it. I think the rest of it was great.
Yeah, his pom-pom stuff. Yeah, like I don't know. I agree. He was the worst. The worst part of this.
Could have done without Sting out. Yeah, it would have been fine.
That's always the case, pretty
regardless.
much.
Yeah, but this is bringing the best out of Darby. It's another promo from him I really enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeff is MJF, so like that's good.
He's always good. Yeah.
But yeah, so I just want the 4 Pillars match. It's gonna be sweet.
I hope so. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Next, we get Powerhouse Hobbs taking on Silas Young of ROH fame, probably the most. This one's easy to summarize. It was 2 moves, I think. Literally?
3.
3? What were they?
Clothesline, spine buster, the weird burning hammer thing, but he does it more like he lays them out flatter. Like it was like an inverted AA, quite literally.
Yeah. So, and it's over. So I'm glad they're pushing Hobbs. I love Hobbs. I think he's super cool, but
I'm happy he's getting a push, but I'm not happy he's getting this push.
True. Yes, being with QTV is not doing anything for me.
It's so weird that it almost doesn't feel like a push.
Yeah, it doesn't. And that's why I fear that he's just losing to Wardlow, and then he's back into obscurity with this group.
Wardlow does not deserve the belt again.
I don't want it on him. I feel like
I want it on Takeshita.
It's not his fault. They waited until he was cooled, right? Like they've just let him cool off Wardlow. He was huge a year ago or whatever, right? And he's just not that interesting anymore.
Yeah. I want the belt to be exciting again. I think Darby did a good job of making that exciting. I think even Guevara was solid at times, but like I think ever since Guevara and Scorp were hot potatoing it, that kind of doomed it. Then Wardlow did okay in his run, but I didn't love it. Then Samoa Joe, I think was honestly he was pretty good too. Honestly, I would have kept it on him. And then him and Joe kind of going back and forth. Now Hobbs, like I don't know, it's just
Hobbs has potential, but not when you're putting him in a faction of low card like talent, right?
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense to me.
It's just like
he doesn't need to be there.
I need someone like Takeshita because Takesha's like, I mean, he obviously the promos aren't gonna be the great, but like he can work on that. But like I know he's gonna have exciting matches for that belt.
Yes,
he could defend it every week. It would get him on TV. Like
everything would feel fresh.
He would make it would be fresh, and he would make that belt feel like something. Because I like the TNT title, but I just want like
me too.
It's just it.
I feel like it should be the workhorse title,
which I think it like
has been, can be.
It hasn't been, because you know it has been Cassidy's belt.
That's true. Right
That's
now,
been the workhorse
yes,
belt, which I
recently for
think
sure.
it should be reversed. The TNT title should be the Intercontinental to the International's U.S. title.
Yeah.
Which is ironic, because I guess that the International is more like whatever, but like
Whatever.
you get what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
I do.
Like, I don't know.
So I thought Silas Young maybe deserves a little better because I kind of like him.
Yeah, because he's looked decent in some enhancement matches before.
Right. And then post match, did you want to talk about that? Because we got they made a big deal of showing Hobbs show up in
Hobbs
this.
got a car, Wardlow wreck car, Hobbs no like.
I thought the forklift part was a nice touch.
Yeah.
He pierces the windows with the forks and then tips it over. So I thought that was cool.
Then they brawl. People separate.
Correct. A nice
Solo
old pull apart.
Gets powerbomb.
And again, my only comments were Wardlow's not hot anymore, and I'm not drawn to a Hobbs Wardlow match, and I'm afraid Hobbs loses and becomes just the muscle of QTV, and that's not what I want for him. So I'm nervous.
I don't like. It's not even that I want Hobbs to win. I just don't want Wardlow to win. I want Hobbs to lose it to someone better.
Or Hobbs to get out of there and be better.
Maybe he loses the belt and then he turns on them. But like, I don't. I just.
And
I'm starting to not care about Hobbs.
That's too bad.
I'm kind of drifting.
Can we talk about how QTV is the name of the faction now? Not just what they've been doing, but that's what they're actually called.
Yeah.
So awesome.
The QTV team.
Love it. But
yeah.
Anyways. Yes. Next, it's another package, so that's you.
Oh yeah, I love the one Captain Jay White put on his post. It's JEW, right?
Oh yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he was in New Japan, they were doing the USFJ tour. So promo from us, King Switch and Rock Hard. So Jay White talks about some of the best that have been members of Bullet Club, like Cody Hall and Chase Owens and
Chase Owens.
Bad Luck Fale.
Ugh.
And Hikuleo.
One of my least favorite.
Tonga
Both
Loa.
of those.
Like,
yep.
Some of the best, and then you got like losers like Cody and Kenny and AJ and Devitt and whatever.
That's right.
All those.
The B team.
Doc Gallows.
The best.
Duh.
How did you forget him? How dare you?
I don't know. I don't know. Not ELP because that doof got kicked out. Anyways, but no duo has been better than Switchblade and Juice.
I guess. I don't know. Is that true?
I mean,
doesn't sound right, but heel logic and all.
Young Bucks.
No.
Good Brothers.
Give me Juice Robinson.
Juice Robinson and Jay White.
Nothing against Juice Robinson, but
yeah. One of the best.
I thought they came across as cool here,
yeah.
even if like the gimmick's kind of not fresh.
Juice says last week Ricky got another ass kicking just because this time King Switch joined in. White says the chaos is here, take what's his. It'll be the greatest era Bullet Club ever, and it's Bullet Club Gold, and then they do the weird finger thing again that I don't like.
Yeah, Bullet Club Gold. I mean, I'm tired of the Bullet Club name at all, but that's kind of funny. Like they're Bullet Club Gold. The upper tier of it.
Oh, I thought because like AEW's got like the golden logo.
No, I think they're going with that's their like Wolf NWO Wolfpack.
Yeah. It's like the AEW Splinter.
Right. So
yeah, it's kind of like that, or it's like kind of how you had like the Elite in Bullet Club.
Yeah.
The Elite were kind of their own thing.
Exactly. So I thought it was cool, right? But it's not a super inspired story of like we're from another company and we're taking over. But whatever. Sometimes if it's done well, it still works.
And if it's not done well, you get the outcasts.
And then exactly. And another thing I'm a sucker for, I've learned in my 30 whatever years of watching wrestling.
Jay White.
Well, I do like Jay White, but I'm a sucker for the can they add more members and recruit people and like, oh, they've got it. You know what I mean? I like that stuff. So if they do that well, then I'm fine.
Okay. Off the top of your head,
oh no,
who would you put with them? If like you had to pick like let's say like 2 or 3.
You would think they'd start with people that they kind of have ties to from New Japan. So who would that be?
Cole, Omega, Bucks, Hangman.
Yeah, maybe not.
That's pretty much that's what I was thinking.
They are already, and somebody who's not already part of something else, right? But would be.
Well, I guess Cole could work if you turn him heel again, but I don't think so.
I don't know who it would be.
I can't think of.
Who'd be a good fit?
I guess there's no like particular. I would like probably you could put a tag team in there, but I don't even know.
Add Takeshita so he doesn't have to talk.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
It'd be weird if he's heel.
I just
but
want him featured, right? So whatever it takes to get him
Yeah.
there. I don't know,
I
but
don't know. It'd be interesting. It was solid promo, good start for White. I think he'd make a great Atlantic champ or international, whatever. But I would like him with that belt because he is, in fact, believe it or not, international.
Yep. Born in Australia,
Yeah,
worked in Japan forever, now North America. Or sorry, New Zealand.
he's
Ooh,
New
they
Zealand.
hate when you make that mistake
Yeah.
too. I apologize to any Australians listening.
Yeah.
That's
'cause
insensitive.
We got a lot of them.
You know, I used to check the countries early on, remember? I haven't looked in a while where everyone's
Yeah,
listening
but I'd
from.
like to see White with that belt because I think that would just work. And
Yeah.
I want him with a belt.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind it. I'm sure he'll have at least one eventually. So then what? We get a match, correct?
Speaking of the belt I just mentioned.
Right. It's Orange Cassidy, the AEW International Champion, defending against 1/3 of the World Trios Champions in Buddy Matthews in another match I've thought on paper looked pretty good, right? So let's see what I have here. So Cassidy is selling or has tape on his hand, right? Which I guess is from an injury suffered a week
I
ago.
don't remember where that's from though.
I don't
That's
either.
the thing. I noticed it on the orange punch here, and I was like, where the hell did that come from?
Can you pass me the power
come
cord
from?
when you get a second?
Yeah.
So we got a quick orange punch, right? But then, yeah, he is sort of selling that hurt hand. The doctor even sort of stops things to check on him, which I'm never quite sure how I feel about that happening mid-match because it is a fight after all. So are we now stopping when people get injured in fights?
I guess.
So I'm not a huge fan. But anyways, so Buddy does the mocking of the lazy kicks and stuff, right? And then Cassidy puts his injured hand in his pocket, and then that's when Buddy just knees him straight in the face. Buddy had several high knees in this match, and they all looked pretty ridiculous. The snap on them is awesome. I don't know. Do you have any other notes on that? I don't have a lot of details.
I don't think so. And you got the finish this
I
time?
have Cassidy played possum, basically went for the orange punch again, but Matthews avoided that and hit a nice stomp for a near fall. I know it's at some point near the finish. And then, wasn't I annoyed a little bit because the finish was super similar to Darby Allin's?
Yeah, Cassidy got out of Murphy's Law and then rolled him up with Mousetrap.
Whatever it's the seatbelts, mouse traps, all those type of unique pins that look like they're hard to get out of. It was one of those. So yeah, it was similar to the Allen situation, which I remember noticing at the time. But I thought the match was good. Slightly criticizing, it didn't come up in my recap, but Cassidy countered everything into DDTs and attempted, I'm not even kidding, like half a dozen completed and or attempted.
Cassidy could totally Shrek Miro.
Which, true, neck of sand. Which I kind of wish he had a little more variety, but still, I enjoyed the match. But I thought that was the vast majority of his offense was counters into DDTs. But yeah, Buddy's knee strikes looked awesome. Good match overall, but again, the finish felt similar to Darby Allin earlier. Thoughts?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I think there was at least a solid story with the hand injury, although I don't remember where that came from. Murphy was great again. Nice to see him on TV again. He sells really great. I keep forgetting.
Yes, he does.
A lot of DDTs,
he's a talented dude,
but the
other
match was
than
solid.
speaking, unfortunately.
He's okay at speaking.
Decent. Passable, I guess.
We get Cage and Luchasaurus in another dark room, and Cage says some things have changed.
That is true.
I
thought it looked cool. I don't know.
Then there was a best friends interview. They're challenging Aussie Open today for the IWGP tag titles because hooray for Aussie Open. They won the IWGP
That's
tag
awesome.
titles.
It's kind of, we were saying, like a new era, right? You've got Sonata as the champion and Aussie Open as the tag champions. That's pretty cool, I think. Yeah.
Then there's Ethan Page. I'm going to sum it up because I didn't get notes. So this is from memory. He came out. He's mad that Matt Hardy turned on him, so he wants an explanation. Hardy comes out with Isaiah Cassidy. There's something in the contract that said they're no longer under the dominion of the firm, but now they get a tag match, and if they win, they're out of the firm, which I thought is what he just said. I don't know.
Same.
Paige is like, oh, but there's other guys in the firm. So Large William and regular size Lee Moriarty attack them. They beat him up. Hook comes out. They beat him up too. Jeff Hardy comes out. Hooray! He's got a painted chair. He beats them up with the worst chair shots I've ever seen. Or not worst ever, because you should see the clips of Hulk Hogan's light chair shots. Great. But It was just like really bending over for it. And
Yeah.
Swanton, whatever. Jeff Hardy's back. Hardy Boys. Blah, 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 blah. I don't
Yeah,
like.
indeed. Ethan Page always sounds great, right? But he looks so stupid. He didn't read a contract and signed it as a grown man, right? And then just the convoluted stuff that they wrote into the contract, it just, I don't know, man. It seemed kind of lazy to me. And then, I don't know, Jeff Hardy coming back, like, I'm disappointed in AEW. I know, same thing. He's going to sell merch. He's going to get a pop. He might move ratings. I get it. But I just, selfishly, this isn't what I want this company to become, where they're taking WWE cast-offs and especially ones who are well past their prime.
This is my new phrase for Jeff Hardy. If he doesn't have a driver's license, he shouldn't have a contract.
Right. I want this company to be different and not feel like you're just grabbing whatever WWE drops and trying to get their legends in to squeeze whatever drop of fame and notoriety is left in them.
Save that for anyone else.
I just don't want to see him. I don't. And again,
especially after what happened, I didn't really want to see him in the first place. But
and we always say it. He will be taking time from somebody else. And they already struggle to get a lot of really talented people on TV.
Well, and last time they were here, they were supposed to win the tag titles. So what happens now?
Right. They just go right into facing FTR or something.
Yeah,
no, thank you.
No.
So, yeah, I don't know. it's not what I want. I imagine there's some people that are right into this and think it's amazing. And hopefully there's people out there as well that are like, I don't know if this is the best look for AEW, right? And I don't think it is, but that's just me. And I just feel we love Ethan Page. He kind of looks silly in this, so that's not my favorite either. But it is what it is.
That push is long gone.
Right.
This is lame. Poor Ethan Page got chumped again. Lame segment, setting up my second most dreaded return in AEW. The other one may come in Chicago, ...
Yes, which... that I'll be disappointed in that too, but that I fully understand. And he could be involved in some interesting stuff. So he can still tell a story and work a match. Hardy never could talk in his 30 years of wrestling. Can't cut a promo to save his life. Punk's incredible at it. So that's a big difference.
His drug test or his impairment test should be cutting a promo.
Exactly. It might be good then, and that's how you know he's drunk. He actually was he was charismatic there. The charismatic enigma.
Do you have notes for the Kenny promo? Because I don't.
Omega? No, it was just really serious in tone, but I might be able to find something really quickly here.
Yeah, he was at home or something like that, or it looked like, right? I think, I don't know.
He could have been. I can't remember, to be honest. I don't really have notes on it. But you also missed. I have a thing that says before that we got Callus's head recap. Wow.
Oh, that was gross.
They should have warned people that, like, I don't care, but
it was.
You were not a fan. It was a deep
like,
it looks gross, and then they, like, whoever is cleaning it or whatever actually like pulls it apart a little bit so you can see that it's like, you can
see how deep that is.
Oh yeah,
it was gross.
It was pretty crazy.
Damn.
Yeah, I have Omega speaks from a couch somewhere. I have serious promo, but he still acknowledged, oh yeah, it was basically like talks about the rest of the elite, and then he acknowledges, right, that Callus is basically a scumbag, but he's still family. So I like that even though he's defending Callus, he's still putting out there, like, not a lot of people like him. There's not going to be a lot of people visiting him in the hospital. That was kind of the gist of it, right? So I like that there's still, like, a potential tension between those two, right? And it was Kenny being more serious and less... I don't want silly's not the right, but you know how he is. You know how he and the Bucks are generally. Like, he was less like that and more serious, I guess. So I had no problem with it.
No.
Yeah. Then we get Blackpool Combat Club taking on Cutler and I guess it's just Moxley and Claudio, right?
It's not the whole Cutler and Knack.
Cutler and Nakazawa. So I don't know if I have any highlights.
No Danielson.
Oh right, and they basically take them out before the bell even rings, right? And I think they're both bleeding because Cutler's got blood under the protective mask, right? Moxie announces at one point that they put the elite back in All Elite, I think, something like that, during the post-match attack.
Yeah.
Right? Sorry, do you have any details on it? I don't know.
The match?
Yeah.
They're beating him up on the outside. Knack was busted open. Cutler was as well. Knack fought back. But then he hit the ropes. Claudio hit him with a clothesline. Then he swung him around. sharpshooter until Cutler came in. Mox allowed a hot take from Cutler, who fires up forearms out into little effect. There was the King Kong Lariat paradigm shift, and he locks in the Bulldog choke, but Knack breaks it. Then they just stomped him into oblivion.
Right. Yeah, sorry, I have fewer notes than I thought I did, and I'm not finding anything that's useful on the fly here. But yeah, I mean, this is pretty. I thought it was a little longer than it needed to be. I just thought that they should be vicious and dominant. I didn't love that they're no selling as well in this.
Yeah, well, they were kind of like.
I don't mind them being dominant ass kickers, but you don't need to no sell offensive grown men who are wrestlers along the way. That's a little bit too far for me.
Yeah.
But the aftermath got a great reaction from the crowd, right? So I guess that's the bottom line.
Yeah.
It did what it was supposed to do, I suppose. I didn't think they needed to have it this long, but anyways, that's what happened. Thoughts?
It was solid. Went how you'd expect, kind of an extended squash. That worked well enough, I think.
I agree.
It was more about the aftermath naturally. Now we just kind of need Hangman back to get this up and running more.
Yes,
Hangman
we do.
Danielson.
Hangman on the show this week?
No.
No, right? I thought so. All right, what's next?
There was the Mogul Embassy interview. I honestly don't remember much from this. It was okay. I honestly can't recall anything other than Prince Nana saying they weren't angry.
I don't even remember that because I was just going, oh yeah, this is a group now. So I don't love Swerve with the Embassy. It's not quite like the Hobbs QTV level for me, but
it's better than the other two.
I don't know. I didn't mind them. I know you hate them, but I was just kind of like,
Cage actually can do stuff.
I know he can for sure. I didn't mind.
And Swerve could talk for them.
I don't know. I just think Swerve's awesome. I want him to be like top of the card talent, and that's not gonna get you there with the Embassy. I'll tell you right now. Maybe on Ring of Honor,
yeah,
but not in AEW. But anyways, it was okay. Then we get our women's match of the week.
Yeah,
which is
Sky Blue and Riho versus the Outcasts.
Has to be Sky Blue. She gets more TV time than any
She's signed now.
Woman right now, but she is in fact all elite. Yes. Notes on this? I just said I don't have anything. It's very minimal. And you didn't share it?
Anyways.
I don't see your notes in my email. Oh, you did share it? I don't see them.
It's like a copy of...
Do what you can. What's it called?
At 143.
All right, I'll look. Oh, yeah, I got it.
Told you.
So do you want me to do it then? This is great podcasting right here. Well, it might take a minute to open, so vamp about something.
Oh, yeah, so I found a website for side plates.
Oh, God. I should have...
And I found Pete Dunne side plates, too.
Nice.
So, I want Pete Dunne side plates. I think I just kept Safari tabs open. I got Adam Cole ones, other ones. I found WrestleMania 36 ones on eBay, and then where's the goddamn Pete Dunne ones? Why is there Eddie Guerrero side plates? Why is that a thing?
Because Eddie Guerrero is amazing.
But he never...
That's why.
He died before side plates were a thing.
Right.
It sounds mean. But, it's true.
Oh, boy, I'm glad I took the time to find your notes for this match. Ready?
Yeah.
Bridge out of a pin and a drop kick from Rio. The bridge out of the pin that drives me crazy.
Yeah, that is the one. That's why I noted it.
Diving crossbody from Blue for 2. Blue super kick Soho into a crucifix bomb from Riho. And the finish, we get a hip attack and a Storm Zero. And it's over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so good. It was a great match.
I thought it was fine. They seem to be showcasing Sky Blue. Like, I thought she got the most out of anyone here, which was not what I expected. And she doesn't do a whole lot for me or you. I know that.
No.
And again, Outcast, right? They don't offer anything of interest. And they're getting almost all of the time in the women's division, which is annoying. The only thing I liked, Baker got a really good reaction when she came out, right? So that's nice for her. Just too bad she's tangled up with this dud of a heel faction right now. So, yeah.
It was okay. Nothing amazing about what you would expect. Post-match was the same stuff as always. Feud's been going on too long ever since the Baker-Saraya feud, and it's never interested me one bit.
Yep, agree. Then is it straight to the main event from there?
I think.
I don't have anything else in my notes. All right.
I didn't get anything either.
So it is Keith Lee taking on Chris Jericho. On paper, not a main event to me.
No, it feels like an opener, like middle of the show.
Like Keith Lee, what's he been doing? How does he get a main event?
Oh, you got his hair gray.
Yeah, he stopped dyeing his hair, and that's about it. But anyways, we've got Jericho hitting a springboard drop kick. with Lee on the apron. I thought even that, like Keith Lee kind of walked into position. It was a bit awkward. This match, I'm not going to tell you right now, did not do much for me. Jericho hits a missile dropkick from the middle rope, as he does. Lee goes to build Jericho, but of course we got to get a distraction from Garcia. Jericho goes for an attack, but Lee catches him in a bear hug. And I remember you go, really?
Because I thought he was going to belly to belly him into the corner or something.
I know. There was, I don't know, this match was weird. Lee hits a clothesline instead. Jericho gets out of the spirit bomb and gets a roll up for 2. We get a pounce from Keith Lee. He then goes for a moonsault, but Jericho gets the knees up. Still impressive to see Keith Lee do. Was a second rope moonsault, I think it was, right?
Yeah.
And then Lee hits a spine buster for 2. Jericho locks Lee in the walls of Jericho until Lee's able to crawl to the ropes. We finally get a Beal from Lee. And then Garcia interferes again with Keith Lee, throws him into the ring and clotheslines both he and Jericho at the same time. Keith Lee then takes a code breaker, and adjusts into a spirit bomb, but Garcia again distracts the ref when Lee goes for the pin. Heading into the finish, the ref is distracted. Swerve comes out of nowhere with a mask, right? But they're like, it's the same coat that he was wearing, so it's him. Or someone's, I guess, framing him, it could be. He hits Lee with some foreign object. I didn't catch what it was either. There was no belt there, right?
No, so, it looked like
I don't know what it was.
No, it was some cylindrical, like kind of like a pipe, maybe.
Could be. So he hits Keith Lee.
Maybe I'm thinking of Wardlow, though, because Wardlow had a pipe.
Jericho covers Keith Lee for the for the win. Quickly after the match, Adam Cole comes out, checks on Keith Lee. They just have a little respect moment. And then Cole and Lee walk up the ramp, and Cole does like the sideways glance over his shoulder at Jericho, much like Jericho did after Cole beat Garcia.
And I remember I told you someone posted a picture of Cole and Lee walking up the ramp, and it was like, how Cole was supposed to be his manager on the main roster.
Oh my god, imagine that.
So dumb.
So dumb. So dumb.
Still stupid.
Your thoughts on the main event?
It was okay, but as far as main events go, it wasn't anything that great. Kind of had this slow pace that never really...
Agree.
They never really strayed from it a lot. Lee looked solid, but not quite like the agile powerhouse we're accustomed to.
Yeah, that's funny. My notes will sound familiar
Neither man's best work in the finish was kind of flat. I guess it moves on a Cole Jericho feud that I don't want.
I thought this was less than okay. I had it as pretty boring. Pace was slow. Neither man did anything particularly impressive. Like the moonsault with the knees up was probably the most impressive thing in this, right? And then you add 3 Garcia distractions, an oblivious referee, and like a cheating whatever finish. I wasn't impressed at all by this. And I think you were just saying it, right? Like Lee used to be this huge guy who could also wrestle like a small guy and do stuff that they're like, how does a guy that big do that? But now it's like he's just a big guy doing big guy stuff for the most part, right? Like, sure, he hit the moonsault, but other than that, it was just like he's now just a big powerhouse guy. Well, then what was special about Keith Lee was he was more than that, right? And that's what people were amazed by.
Yeah, he
looks like a big lumbering powerhouse, and then he's doing like lucha stuff almost, right? So I feel like that's not really happening anymore. I thought this was one of the weakest Dynamite main events I remember, to be honest. And I'm not sure at this point. Again, I like Keith Lee, but I don't know how Keith Lee joining Cole helps Cole.
I don't think he is. I think it was just kind of
you think it's
parallel,
just as like a tool to get to the Jericho stuff, probably, right? And maybe Lee's not. I don't know. But anyways,
Swerve in our bask in our baby.
Yeah,
nailed it.
What were your overall thoughts on the show this week?
I thought it started really good with the opener. Then
agree.
TNT title match, I don't care because that was short. International title match was pretty solid.
It was.
The women's tag and the BCC squash was fine, and the main event was there. Bullet Club Gold was solid. MJF Darby Allin was awesome.
Callus's head was gross.
Callus's head was gross. Hardy Boys, no
thanks.
Omega, cool. Yeah, I don't know. It was a solid show. I'd give it a B-.
That's funny. That's exactly what I was gonna say. I liked 2 matches, same as you, but neither one am I like, you should go see it if you didn't see it, right? And then, yeah, the MJF and Darby promo was good, I thought, and like other stuff was totally fine. But then in ring, you're right. The second half of the show was really nothing special. and ended with a really disappointing main event to me. So I was thinking B- is exactly the grade I had picked out as well. So I agree with you. All right. You ready to tackle some trivia? All right. So we are going to do what we always do, which is try some trivia that I just said, but I said it again. And it's called Off the Top of His Head. All right, I just said it to you off air. I'll say it here. The trivia is going to be a bit weird this week because I didn't have a lot of time, so I just found something before we came down. Seems to be focused a lot on 2006. Random year.
Wasn't alive.
Right, but that doesn't really stop you.
I don't even think I was conceived.
That doesn't even really stop you. So
No, not even a little.
who is the current WWE champion as of the end of 2006? And I can give you options if you'd like. So end the year, basically. So I guess you'd go to what's the pay-per-view in January and who is the champ?
Cena.
Cena is correct. That would have been just playing the odds, I
Yeah,
guess, that myself.
Yeah, I knew. I was pretty sure. I think he faced Umaga at the beginning of 2007.
So I did this quiz. I got that one right. Okay. Who's the world heavyweight champion at the end of this year, 2006? I got this right as well. I had the options, though, so I can give you those if you want them.
Was it Booker? It wasn't Booker.
Booker is one of the options. It was not Booker.
Okay. And
I thought you had it when you went because I saw you were going with the
Batista.
Correct.
Okay.
Batista is right. I got that one too.
I thought it was, but I didn't know when he was injured.
Who is the ECW champion at the end of 2006?
Lashley.
Correct. I got that off the options. I would never have gotten it without the options.
I would have. Extreme Elimination Chamber. We reviewed it.
As of true or false, as of 2006, Paul Heyman is no longer the head writer of ECW.
After December.
That is true, correct? Yes. Yeah, the fact that you know that is strange to me, but anyways. As of 2006, Big Show is still wrestling.
Yeah.
No.
What?
Apparently he was done. He retired and
that worked out.
Yes. Real well. Who was the last what was the last ECW pay-per-view?
December.
As of 12/31/06.
December
to dismember.
Yeah.
Is correct.
The one I mentioned twice.
Also got that one correct. What was the main event of the first barely legal pay-per-view? You might want options for this one, I feel like.
Not 2006.
No. I said mostly focused on
RVD Sabu.
No. So you've got
Sabu Taz.
No.
Sabu someone.
You've got Douglas Sandman.
That.
BWO Public Enemy, Raven Funk, Mysterio Lionheart.
The first one.
It is not the first one. It was Raven Terry Funk. All right. What was the main event at December to Dismember 2006?
Extreme Elimination Chamber.
Correct. Involving who? I don't have the answer. You have to tell me.
Lashley, Hardcore Holly, Test, Big Show, RVD Punk.
Wow. You're good at this.
Lashley at the table.
Yes or no? Or true or false, whatever you like. Teddy Long is GM of Raw at the end of 2006.
No.
Correct.
He was the SmackDown guy.
Yes, he was.
Everyone knows that.
What is Kane's record? I got this right on a total guess. In Inferno matches as of the end of 2006.
What?
His record. Like how many wins, how many losses?
I don't know.
Do you want options?
2-1.
1-3, 3-1, 0-4, 4-0.
1-3.
Correct. I got that as well. Who won the first ever Hell in a Cell match?
Taker. Wait, Michaels.
Wow. I guessed Taker and it was wrong. It was Shawn Michaels. Who is the Cruiserweight champion as of the end of 2006?
Chavo.
No.
Gregory Helms.
No, he is one of the... Actually, no, it is Helms.
Yeah, Hurricane Helms, baby.
Yep.
Without a mask.
Right. What won Feud of the Year for 2006 on WWE.com? Do you want options? Because that's pretty tough to pull out of thin air. But, okay, say some ones you think, and I'll tell you if they're on the list.
Edge Cena.
Correct. That's option A. Who are the McMahons feuding with?
DX.
That's option B. You're going to go with that one?
Yeah.
Other options were, do you know who Batista was feuding with? This will just add... No, King Booker.
Okay.
and RVD versus Heyman. So you're saying McMahon's versus DX? Correct. What was the top story of the year 2006 according to WWE.com?
Shawn Michaels team with God, obviously.
You're gonna want answers, I assume.
Yeah.
Return of DX.
Sure.
WWE movies The Marine and See No Evil. Return of ECW. Edge wins
ECW.
Correct. What superstars? Oh wow! If you get this one, you might need a minute. What superstars held the WWE title this year in this order?
Okay. All right. Okay. In like just complete order.
Yeah.
Cena. Edge.
Yes.
Cena.
Yes.
Edge.
No.
Oh, Cena lost to someone else. Oh, Cena. RVD.
Correct.
Edge.
Correct.
Cena.
Wow. That's crazy. Yes.
Forgot about RVD for a second.
Yeah. That's impressive. I don't know. Is any of these true? I don't think these are. Oh yeah, definitely not true. This is old. So Jeff, who of the following was never a WWE superstar? Jeff Jarrett, Scott Steiner, AJ Styles, Rhino.
But
they all happened. It was AJ Styles at that time.
That makes sense.
2006, last one. Marty Jannetty, spelled incorrectly. Nice work, people. Was hired 2 times and fired 2 times.
Yeah.
That is true. That is correct. What an interesting 2006 specific, and you knew almost...
I mean, Jannetty came back in 2005.
Would you like to know how they spelled Jannetty? Take a
would.
guess. How did they spell it? It's wrong.
With a G?
Correct.
What?
Genety.
Michael Gannetti?
Marty Gannetti.
Or why is he Michael?
Michael. Not Michael.
Okay.
But anyways, you did very well on 2006 random trivia. We'll go back to talking about wrestling. It's anything else we watched this week and what we liked and didn't like about it. We call it Highspots and Restholds. All right, so you said you don't have anything this week. Nothing good from Raw or bad?
No.
Nothing that caught your eye. So I will talk about, I didn't watch ROH. I did watch NXT. I did watch Impact. So I'll talk about those two. You watched some of each? More NXT, I think. I can't remember. I know you watched a little bit of both while it was on.
I think so.
But anyways, we will talk about. We'll see what you remember. I thought, and I know you watched this. I thought a high spot on NXT, the opening segment, I thought was pretty solid. You had Mello and Trick come down to the ring, right? And they start talking and doing their thing. Dragon Lee then interrupts, and he comes face to face. He says that he came to NXT to face the best, and that's Mello. Mello tells him, I don't like being interrupted, but he gives Lee a pass because he's new to NXT, right? Then our boy, JD McDonough, comes out, and he says that 1 week as champ and Mello's already slipping since he allowed himself to be taken out by Braun Breaker last week. He says ego is loud, confidence is quiet, which I thought was cool. He doesn't need to be an internet darling or have fancy entrances because when the bell goes, he knows he's number one. He tells Dragon Lee he'll find that out tonight, and that Mello will find out at Spring Breakin'. Waller then comes out last. He basically insults the crowd quickly and Dragon Lee, calling him stupid, I think. Or everybody stupid.
Why are they doing Spring Break so late?
Breakin'! How dare you?
Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo.
I don't know.
Wait, this is the second one. This should be Spring Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo.
And Waller says whatever, he'll win the title instead, sort of thing. I thought everybody sounded good here. I'm most impressed probably with Dragon Lee because I haven't really heard him speak before, and I thought he was solid. Waller, somewhat ironically, said the least here, and I didn't think he was as good as usual, just kind of cheesy. What is El Stupido? I thought that was kind of lame, but he's had plenty of time to talk and establish himself, so I get letting the other people say what they want to say. So kind of similar to AEW right now, I enjoy all of the talent currently in the title picture, right? Because there's quite a few possibilities and they're all good. So I thought a good start to the show. Another high spot for me, I'm not sure if you watched it or not. I thought there was a solid women's tag match. It was what's her name? Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. They defended their titles against Henley and Kiana James. So what was the story? Jensen, again, right? He was been told in a segment earlier that he wasn't, bless you, that he wasn't there. That you're getting sick.
That he wasn't. Weird I farted when I did that too.
Yeah, that's weird. That he wasn't there that week, but he does show up here in mid-match with the purse, and he tries to make Fallon Henley use it to hit Alba Fire, but Henley refuses. Then Jensen's in the ring for a really long time, right? He's forced out of the ring. Uh, he and Briggs have words, and he ends up shoving Briggs to the ground on the floor. All of this is distracting poor Fallon Henley. She turns around straight into a shot from Alba Fire, and then they hit their backstabber swanton finish. Somebody I saw called it a lung blower. I'm like, no dude, other side.
No, yeah.
Yeah, flip them over for that. But anyway, I kind of like their finish. I kind of like them as a team. I thought the match was solid. The part with Jensen was predictable, right? It's not really my favorite thing, but it didn't bother me too much. So, also in that, Fallon hit a pretty nice destroyer. And I thought...
Pass me your TP roll.
Were you not under the impression that pile drivers were banned? Would the destroyer not... Is that a move WWE allows now?
Yeah, Destroyer, yeah. Edge has been doing that, I bet.
I guess so. Another high spot for me, and you saw this, you're probably going to agree, is there was a Noam Dar segment, a pre-produced sort of thing, where I thought he really shined here. He says NXT is about to blast off into the stratosphere with him, talks about how there's only one supernova, talks about the Heritage Cup and sort of explains the rules of the match, which are, what is it, first to 3 pinfalls, 6 rounds?
There's a few minutes, and
you get
like 20-second
a break between each round, etc., etc. There's no one no one can do it like him, etc., etc. I don't know. I just find him really charismatic and interesting in general, especially as a heel. I
really liked it.
He did a really good job here. I just hope that NXT crowd is open to the Heritage Cup matches, because you and I both were not.
Yeah, it's one of the things I actually definitely like.
And then I ended up the last 4 or 5 I watched, they were all really, really good. Partly because of the talent they have competing for it, but also the structure ends up being really interesting. So super happy Noam Dar is getting some time. He is a really entertaining guy.
I love Noam Dar.
He's it's too bad he's really small, because in ring he's really good. And that's what
I wish he could have got a better shot in the cruiserweight division.
Me too. He's really entertaining. Resthold for me was Braun Breaker attacking Chase U. So this was Duke Hudson's MVP ceremony, and Braun showed up and said the NXT title has been a curse. Sorry, how?
Brought Dolph Ziggler, and I don't know.
I don't know. So he gives his spot in the 4-way, right? Because Mello was basically telling him he had a spot. He gives it to Duke Hudson here.
That's why he got the spot?
Yeah, because Braun was like, the title's been a curse. Okay.
That's dumb.
Because, anyways, he ends up spearing Braun, that is, Andre Chase. Hudson sort of has to make the decision to stay and help or leave. And he leaves. And then Braun ends up ripping the Chase U flag in half. So one thing of note I noticed in here is that Hudson reluctantly thanked Thea Hale, as though there's some tension there. Because he's like, I'd like to thank so-and-so, and thanks to Thea Hale, I guess. So I don't know where that's going, but I just wanted to make a note of it. I didn't love the segment. I don't understand, again, how this is a curse for Braun, and why you would just give up your... you're not interested in the NXT title now, I guess?
Which is why he attacked Mello. I don't know.
Are they trying to say he thinks he's too good for it now and needs to go main roster? Is that your heel persona?
Why is he still there?
I don't know. It kind of bugged me a little bit. And then Chase U just has too many of these segments. They always find a way to have some lengthy segment on TV, and I kind of like the group, but it seems like they're always doing stuff like this. I do get using a mid-card comedy group to further demonstrate the new heelness of Braun Breaker, I guess, right? Mm-hmm. So whatever. High spot, you ready? You're going to be surprised because I don't think you watched this. Gigi Dolan pre-recorded segment. Your look on your face if this were a video podcast. So she's at an old abandoned house, which she tells us was hers growing up. It's all boarded up, not very big. She talks about how she and her brother grew up, and she was emotionally abused by their mother, so she ran away and never looked back. And she basically says that JC Jane knew all of this and knows her story, and that's why she decided to cost her NXT stand and at a title shot, I guess. Oh no, the title she was
the
in
ladder match, yeah.
Right. At Stand and Deliver. Gigi says, like the rose tattoo on her arm, her story started out jagged and torn, but turned out beautiful. I thought
Rose.
She actually sounded quite believable here, probably because I think she's telling her actual story. It feels like it. If not, she's doing a good job, right?
Like ex-partner, and Darby.
That's right. So it's feeling like by far the most believable thing she's done, I think. So this story does make it a little easier to care about her as a babyface, because I guess because the sudden turn is now in the rearview mirror, because I didn't really understand. Remember, my complaint was, why are you a good guy now? Because your heel partner attacked you doesn't make you good. So I guess I'm starting to forget that a little bit. But anyways, I thought this was pretty good. Resthold for me. Did you hear about what happened to Pretty Deadly on this show?
Mm-mm.
So remember how Stax and Tony D'Angelo have basically been baby faces, I think, for a while now? Well, anyways, I think it was Pretty Deadly were just standing outside. I don't know if it counts as the parking lot, but they were standing outside the doors of NXT, and they got attacked with like a crowbar and whatever, and they take the dark-haired one, Wilson,
Yeah.
and put him in the trunk and drive off with them. The baby faces. So... and then in a segment later, I'll do it all here. Pretty Deadly are back together. So they catch and release. They basically released him for some reason. They kidnapped him to let him go. Because I guess...
Sending a message, I don't know.
And your baby faces, so you can't actually abduct someone because that's like a crime. So you just, we let you go. I don't know. It was weird. It was strange stuff to me. Resthold. Eddie Thorpe versus... Big Body Javi. So Thorpe obviously wins. It's an enhancement match. Bernal looked okay in it, and I've kind of liked Thorpe in other places because he was Carl Fredericks, right? But I don't think he's really stood out in 2 matches so far on NXT. He's just looked kind of, I don't know exactly what it is. I guess it's like he's not a high flyer. He doesn't seem to be a striker. He's not a grappler. He's not a suplex guy. I don't know what he is. He just kind of does normal stuff. So far, he hasn't impressed me. So I don't know if he just needs to step up in talent or have more time, but he's just been kind of ordinary to me. He's the indigenous DJ, and that's about it. So that is a cool gimmick, I guess. Apparently, he is an actual DJ. So
I don't know if cool is the word.
Indigenous DJ sounds awesome. I like it. Resthold, guess who got a segment this week?
JC Jane.
No, Scripts.
Nice.
Still using the voiceover, still using the voice changer, writing out what he's saying. He's after Axiom, I think, which too bad for Axiom, and I can't believe they haven't given up on this character yet because it's
still going.
It's awful. There's no way somebody is out there going, this is good, right? There's no way. A high spot, a match over delivered for me. Saul Ruka, Tiffany Stratton, about 6 minutes, but really entertaining. Like, showed off crazy athleticism, each of them. And I think Ruka is actually improving, because when she started, I was pretty like, she's not ready for TV. What are they doing? They obviously just think she's athletic and whatever. But she seems to be picking things up. There was a lot of acrobatics in this match, but they're both really good at it. So it was kind of like one-upping each other or one step ahead of each other. So I liked it. And Stratton won with her beautiful moonsault as expected. But Ruka is growing on me a little bit, which is nice to say. I told you about this. I actually tried to find the footage to send to you. I couldn't find it at the time. I have mega Resthold. Cora Jade speaks in the ring. Holy cow.
Oh yeah, you told me.
I feel like they set her up to fail here. They asked her to say so much. Incredibly long, pretty generic stuff. The crowds, like, part of the reason I wanted you to watch it was to like watch the crowd behind her, because people are on their phones. Nobody's really looking. At one point, they're clearly disengaged. They start chanting boring at one point and like shut the F up at another point. Like, and I don't think because she's a heel, I think because they were just like, make this stop. So far too long. So they put her out there and said, hey, you need to cut a promo on Zoe Stark, Roxanne Perez, Gigi Dolan, Tiffany Stratton, Lyra Valkyria, and Indy Hartwell. Go. Right? So that's basically, she had something to say about each one of them. And I guess the point is to establish her as like, she's the loner heel now, right? She doesn't even like other heels. She likes nobody, blah, blah, blah. But incredibly long and boring. They just asked her to do far too much. And I almost felt bad for her, because I'm like, I don't know how you're supposed to pull this off, right? But anyways.
It's a horrible idea for NXT.
It is. Lyra Valkyria ended up interrupting. I think kicked her once in the gut, and then Jade just missed getting kicked in the head, and then obviously retreated because she's a heel, you know. And that's all it seems to be, is like, generic. I'm a heel. I'm a heel. I'm a heel. I'm a
Yeah.
heel. Okay, I get it. Right. High Spot, awesome main event. I would actually recommend checking this one out. It was a 4-way match for number one contender: Duke Hudson, JD McDonough, Dragon Lee, and Grayson Waller. As you would expect, tons of pretty good action in this. Suplexes, a Poison Rana. I think it was McDonough countered something into a Rana. He got his Spanish fly as usual. You got Dragon Lee hits a German suplex to McDonough, sends McDonough out of the ring. Lee then hits a really nice sit-out powerbomb to Duke Hudson, goes for the pinfall, but perfectly timed rolling cutter by Waller. He steals
Stunner.
the pinfall. Huh?
Stunner.
Sorry. And he's the number one contender. So about what you expect, honestly, Duke Hudson looked really good in this. He had a few sequences where because he's the powerhouse of this group, right? Like, he's a big dude and the rest of them are not. Well, Waller's not tiny, but he's not exactly a powerhouse. So he looked good throwing everybody around. Hudson was hitting electric chairs to people, and then the third one was McDonough, and McDonough obviously countered it into a Rana, right? So Hudson looked really good, and Waller winning makes sense in a way because Melo's a face now, and I guess you put a heel, but I don't love Waller getting a shot and not winning because I think we're grooming him to be a champion, but he also might be gone soon.
He just lost to Gargano, and he already lost to Breaker.
He did.
To me, like, besides Melo, who won the title, he's the most recent challenger.
He is.
Which I don't love going back to the well, even if it's a different champion.
I feel like he just might be not in NXT for much longer because he's ready to go. He's pretty polished at this point.
I was hoping for JD. That'd be sweet.
Yeah, I like him as well. I like a lot of people in NXT.
I would like to save JD for like a bigger show, I guess.
And Dragunov beat Von Wagner, obviously.
Oh,
and
no.
so Stone and Wagner are done.
No.
I know, you're upset. Was neither a High Spot nor a Resthold.
Ah.
I guess notable is where it would fit. Switching to Impact. So you know that Mickie James, she ended the show talking about relinquishing the title and leaving
that was lame.
Leaving her belt and boots in the ring or whatever. It was fine.
Hat.
Oh, hat, right. So, because we're going to that show, you should look up the card and we should preview it quick while we're waiting. We could end with that, I guess. But anyways, I thought the opening of the show, we got I think it was the opener, a good multi-man match. Anyways, it was Taurus, Swan, Laredo Kid.
I just saw a Rampage hype package, and the first thing they put was the Callus thing again.
Oh, really? His gash of a head. So Laredo
Whoa, Jay White versus Commander.
Oh, nice. Tonight?
Next
week.
Sweet.
So Laredo Kid's back from injury. I really like him. Glad to see him. And Lince Dorado was there as well, who I think is pretty cool. So lots of speed here, high flying stuff. And then Black Taurus, just some awesome power spots, some cool sequences and high impact stuff. And I bet you these guys love having Taurus as a base, right? Like, if you're a lucha flippy dude, like, what's better than landing on that guy? Probably.
Mm-hmm.
He's just solid. He did at one point, I think I told you, he's doing an electric chair to Lince Dorado as Lince Dorado is stalling suplex Laredo Kid. It was a pretty cool spot. So everyone in this got a sequence or two to shine. Really entertaining match. Laredo Kid hit they call it a Spanish fly, but it's almost like more like a belly to belly, and he just doesn't release, and he ends up like on top of them as well. It looks cool every time, but I don't know if Spanish fly is right. It's not because Spanish fly, you're side by side, right?
It's like a Uranagi kind
and he's more like belly to bellying you and just holding on. But anyways, he won. So it was a cool match. Resthold, you saw this. You walked in at a really bad time. Remember, it was Death Doll segment?
Oh, yeah.
And Rosemary was...
I don't think I saw the end of it, though.
So Rosemary's awful acting. It drives me crazy. There's like high school drama production acting, and she's trying to go to the undead realm. Cool. But someone is blocking their access, and going to the undead realm is them opening the casket that Taya got pulled into.
Right.
Ugh. And of course, the person blocking their access or people must be the Coven. So Jessica is going to face Taylor Wilde tonight. I wrote, I feel stupid even recapping this. I groan whenever Rosemary shows up. This is the kind of stuff that makes you embarrassed as a wrestling fan when non-wrestling fans enter the room. That's how I describe it. Resthold immediately to follow that is Jessica versus Taylor Wilde. Did you watch this?
I saw a bit.
It was sloppy and slow, and I did not like the finish, even though I don't remember what it was. That's what my notes say. I thought both women looked worse than they usually do in this, so I'm not sure what was going on, but this was not a good match. Another rest hold, which will probably always be a rest hold, and they asked Alicia to act.
That's not good.
It never ends well. So she's Eddie's ride or die, and she has his back against the monster PCO. I think this is basically her admitting she ran over PCO weeks ago, but who cares? I will say PCO's segment ahead of their match at the show we're going to was actually like, he was super creepy and weird in that little vignette. I just don't want to watch him wrestle. But with Alicia, man, how could someone be in a wrestling company for this many years and still be pretty bad, both in ring and speaking? But Eddie Edwards, so I guess that's what she's got going for her. But anyways, it's too bad. I'm sure she's a lovely woman, but I do not find her well suited for the art of professional wrestling.
At all.
Shall I say. Another rest hold. This match kind of bored me. Dirty Dango, which is dumb. Joe Hendry versus Sami Callihan and Alan Angels. Not a lot happened here.
So basically 2/3 of the 6-man tag we were
correct that we're getting. I don't like when they do that either. So Diener distracts Sammy on the floor for some reason. Henry chokeslams Angels for the win. And as a bonus, Santino Marella comes out, and good old Alan Angels gets to look silly taking the Cobra.
Nice.
Cobra's back. So the whole design story does nothing for me. Hendry seems to be kind of like drifting a little aimlessly since winning the, digital media title? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
So I don't know. And yeah, we're going to see them on Sunday, which, whatever. It might be a fun match. We'll see. Last thing I have is a high spot. Believe it or not, I thought there was a solid promo from Bully Ray, albeit about a very random group. Do you hear who's in his group now?
It's Moose and Myers now.
Yeah. So it's not the Good Hands. They've been moved out of whatever match, and those two are put in. So he sounded a little less heelish, but he was putting over his group. And it was funny because he started out by saying, like, and that's what the part was kind of not heely, there is no leader in this group. He makes reference to all the other groups he's been in, and he's like, in this group there is no leader, we're all equal. But then like 2 seconds later he's like, everybody get in here, and to like huddle up and do whatever. So it's like, I don't know. But anyway,
isn't it literally there's a leader? Because it's just a team for a match. It's literally Team Bully.
It seems that way. They're literally called Team Bully, right? So yeah, it's Bully Ray, Masha, Moose, Myers, and the Good Hands were all in this segment. And I don't know where Moose and Myers came from, but I think
just randomly got changed.
I think Myers has nothing to do because Cardona seems gone, right? Oh, and by the way, the Dyad are not gone from. They're in a match next week, and they were in a segment this week.
I don't think they're gone yet. Then.
No, so I don't think. Remember, we heard like they've been granted the
I
release.
didn't think they had because I didn't see anything official.
They're still around. So, anyways, that is the end. I did not watch ROH yet. I may get around to it, but that's all I've got for Highspots and Restholds. Do you? We preview in the show?
I don't have anything prepared, but I can just
like, pull up the card and
rhyme it off.
We'll talk about it. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's just because Jack and I will be at this show. It's at Rebel Nightclub in Toronto. It's our probably my favorite venue for like a non-WWE thing we've been to. It looked really good on TV. It was fun to go to. So we're heading down Sunday for that show. John Pollock from Post Wrestling is going to be there. Maybe I'll talk to him again. Probably
also not. The dude who was lip syncing the video the one time we were at GCW.
What?
Remember when we were at GCW and that guy was like
lip syncing what?
He's lip syncing some song.
I do not.
Filming on his phone.
Oh, really that funny. Guy. Yeah.
Yeah, because they got like some radio show. So.
Oh yeah, interesting. Yeah, he was one of our favorite. We always find good fans to watch at indie shows and stuff. Yeah. People watching's half the fun.
Yeah.
All right, so talk to me about what we're gonna see on Sunday.
There's 2 pre-show matches, which is Coven Death Dolls.
Oh boy, I'm not super excited about that.
I'll just go Coven.
Yeah, I'll take Coven to retain as well.
Then Champagne Singh.
Yeah.
And Shara.
Yes.
Versus Heath and Rhino.
I
feel like that's Heath and Rhino.
I do, but like, what? I'm trying to think. What's the point of giving them a win? And maybe they're gonna actually. But it's Shara. There's another guy. Like, how many years can you be a wrestler and not be good at it? Okay, I'll take the other ones just for fun. Okay. It's probably a stupid pick.
I'm gonna forget.
But anyways,
that's okay.
You could write it down where there's paper and stuff, right? Anyways, just remember.
Team Bully versus Team Dreamer, which is the hardcore war.
Who's on Team Dreamer?
Yuya Yamura.
Oh, nice.
Gujar, Killer Kelly, and Kaz.
I like Killer Kelly.
And Tommy Dreamer, if that wasn't clear.
Not Tommy Dreamer. Who do I take in this?
I'm gonna go Dreamer, I guess.
I'm gonna go Dreamer because I want this to end, and I think that's the only way is if the faces
Agreed.
win, I guess, right? So I guess it could be like a bloody whatever, could be a crazy match, I guess, right?
Yeah.
And I like some of the people in it, so.
Design versus Hendry, Dango, and Santino Marella.
Gross.
I assume the Design loses.
They don't win very much.
Angels takes the pin. Calling it.
Sorry, it's Santino and who?
Hendry and Dango.
I'm going to say the Design win. Because why the heck should those other three win? Design needs to win.
Design.
That is a very compelling argument, but I'll say the Design actually win. They're going to throw them a bone, if you will.
Edwards versus PCO last rights match.
That feels like it has to be Eddie Edwards.
Really?
Because I don't think this continues.
But shouldn't PCO get his revenge?
I don't, because he's been leaning into this like he's a monster thing. So I don't even know who the baby face is here.
PCO.
I guess because Eddie did run him over, or Alicia did.
I'm going to PCO.
I'll take Eddie Edwards just because.
Okay.
I don't know.
Because you love Alicia.
I do love Alicia and Eddie Edwards, to be honest.
Miguel, Gresham, Bailey.
Ooh, Miguel, Gresham,
I'm just gonna take Bailey for no reason.
I'll take Miguel to retain. Although I hope you're right. They never should have taken the belt off Mike Bailey. What were they doing?
They gave it to Kaz.
Because he was having an amazing run. I don't know. I feel there's something up with that. Like they didn't think they could sign him, or you know what I mean? They don't want to be like he's the longest reigning champion ever, but he's not here. I don't know. But anyways, I'll take
Ultimate X, ABC versus MCMG.
I'll take ABC. I don't think it's time to take it off of them. Machine Guns don't need it. They've had it.
Are undefeated in Ultimate X though.
So that will be the feather in the cap for the young ones.
I'll take ABC as well.
Yeah, I think they win.
Grace Perazzo.
Kind of excited about that. I love both of them.
I'll take Grace. I'm not fully confident.
I will take Perazzo.
Saw that coming.
Because I feel like Jordan Grace might be dedicating a lot of the time to this bodybuilding stuff that she's doing really well in, and she might not be around as much as they want the champion. How you like that logic? Boom. And anything else?
Macklin Kushida for the vacant title.
It's Macklin time, baby.
Macklin.
I just think I don't know. Kushida's clearly the one filling in this match. He wasn't supposed to be in the match, right? So I find it hard to believe they're gonna.
I don't think Macklin would have won if it was Alexander.
I'm not convinced either, but
I think this makes it Macklin.
I think so too.
And then you can do whatever when Alexander gets back.
So I'm just hoping for, like even 3 of those matches being really, really good, and the live
I'm just hoping it's solid because we're far from that golden age.
Yes, we are. We're in the second row this time. Not that it's funny because the venue looks decent on TV, but there's really, I'm going to count, but like there's only 4 rows deep, most spots. And then maybe those little bleachers right beside the entrance ramp, they try and make it look, they do a good job of making it look like there's more people than there are.
The LED board that goes around.
Yeah, it's a cool looking venue. So hopefully it's as nice as we remember.
Yeah.
But anyways, you said there's nothing for figuring it out this week. No updates.
No.
So a little bit shorter than usual this week. You're not feeling well, buddy. So I hope you feel better for episode 143. Sorry, 144. This is 143.
It is.
So we'll definitely be back next Saturday with episode 144. I don't think there's anything in the works unless something crazy happens on Sunday and we feel like talking about it. But we'll definitely talk about, Rebellion and our experience at the live show. We'll talk about that next week, if not before. So hopefully we'll see you all back here. What's that?
The hotel.
Oh, next week might be hotel bound. That's right. Might be recording and publishing in a hotel. Fun. So yeah, we look forward to seeing you all again then. Bring some friends to listen with you. Tell somebody about us. Help us promote ourselves because we don't do it at all. We're just seeing what happens if you start a podcast and don't promote it at all for a really niche topic.
That's the accidental. That's our accidental tactic.
That's right. It's genius. It's working out real well for us. But anyways, we will see you all back here next Saturday. And until then, everybody, take care.